So maybe that's just going to be their goal, but now they're going to have to deal with the Demon in the bot lane. Just going to put that out there.
I mean, CoreJJ might have something prepared to deal with Emilio. It does get through sometimes. It's not like 100% permaban. It's usually first pick, though, which the fact that they're not doing that to go for the buy makes you think that they might have something that they've been scrimming against, prepare for it.
Makes sense. And I mean, just talking about the storyline for Team Liquid, like giving Pyosik Vi, I think makes a lot of sense. In their previous split, they've been a team that relied heavily on his engages. Like, some of his engages were bad, but like just in general, he has always went for a kill button to start the fight for his team. So let's see how it goes.
Well, speaking of engages, we have the Xayah Rakan for TSM, right? Obviously, Rakan is something that Chime is super comfortable with. I'm surprised that Emilio is slipping through the draft this.
I feel bad for Haeri hovering Skarner, knowing that Cabin Flowers is casting this game, but not on the champ select. I think I heard it. Yeah.
I heard it.
I heard it. Yeah. In my ear. I don't know if it came through on broadcast,
yeah.
but Haeri's going to be sad to see when he watches his VOD back that it's not actually Cabin Flowers doing champ select.
Damn. Flowers is probably just going to be running here just so he can have his take. Maybe he's that crazy.
I think he has to cast the game after this, so
yeah.
I hope he stays at the caster booth.
He's got running legs. It's a short distance.
I really want to see what Team Liquid's identity is going to be in summer. Because they bounced around like crazy in spring. It didn't feel like they could decide what kind of team they wanted to be. Are they going to be a team that plays hard around Summit because he can gap everybody in lane and then just tries to play on his tempo? Are they going to be a bot lane team through CoreJJ to unlock him? Are they going to let Haeri try and carry through mid? They just didn't seem to have a plan, because I think just committing to any of them could lead to success with the talent they have on this team. So far, these are very generic picks. I think the identity will come in the 4-5.
Yeah, I agree, and I expect it to come with like a Nautilus pick. Of course, Emilio being banned does help that, but just in general, CoreJJ has just been such a great general on the team, an engager on the team, and seeing a Rakan as a whole makes it easier for him to just say, okay, that means Vi's coming bot lane. We're going to be playing off of Yeon's, like, in my opinion, best pick, and they're just going to be playing bot side.
And I also think this is a weirdly extremely important split for CoreJJ, because I feel like he joined the LCS years ago in 2019 and immediately won MVP and immediately won 2 splits. But he hasn't won in 4 years. And I think there's actually a lot of built up resentment of people that have started watching the LCS in the past 3 years and are wondering, like, why do people keep calling CoreJJ so good? He hasn't done anything lately. So I do believe if he doesn't perform this split, he's going to hear a lot of criticism towards his play.
We'll have to see if he can step it up. He'll get have to be blind. They're actually giving, or excuse me, into the Rakan. You're going to see counterpick, probably assuming that goes top. We did see the mid lane Gragas last game, but I have a feeling that's more what Hauntzer going to be playing than Insanity. But I guess I have that flex option. Let's see what TL lock in the Renata. Ooh.
Well, I love the Renata pick. It just stymies a lot of what TSM wants to do in engaging with Wukong. So you have Wukong, sure, Rakan and Gragas are great disengages as well, which makes TSM's draft, as generic as it can be, really strong still. But I want to see what the response is with the mid lane pick for Insanity. That makes this a little easier. Maybe a little bit of poke. Have to think about that one.
And the Kennen locked in for Summit, which it should be really interesting. Actually, okay, I love the Malphite, and then Insanity presumably is going to take the Gragas mid. But the Kennen coming out for Summit also is kind of interesting when we think about what you were talking about, Jet, right?
Let
Which
Summit
is like,
cook.
what is the identity of this team? Are we going to let Summit play, you know, kind of some of these carries? And it's going to, a lot of these team fights are going to depend on how he has entry into them.
Yeah, although I feel like this team composition
plays through mid
doesn't make sense.
Yep.
I think they're trying to let everyone cook at once, and they only have like one walk to use.
Meanwhile, I actually really like TSM's composition. It's really easy to execute, which I appreciate. And I also, again, I love the Malphite pickup.
I think at least from a team fight perspective, it could be good from Team Liquid, just like being counter-engaged and just marking the Kennen on flank should be TSM's goals.
All right, we'll see if TSM can execute on that. Team Liquid versus TSM coming up next. Let's get back over to the casters and Cabin Flowers to hear how he reacted to the Skarner hovers.
The only thing I wish, Mark, is that it would have been locked in. Unfortunately, we live in reality, so that doesn't exactly happen these days.
Hey, Triforce is good.
Hey, Skarner rework win. Anyway, now we have ourselves a game where TSM and Team Liquid going head-to-head. TSM is a team that when you look back at those power rankings that we all had, everybody had them in bottom 3. They were placed no higher than 8th on any of the power rankings. People are not expecting this squad to come out swinging, and so I like them kind of just showing up with a Malphite, Wukong, Rakan combo and saying, okay, we don't have to play this incredibly complex game of League of Legends, juggling people around in different places. We're all going to group up, we're going to push R, and we're going to beat the team that in spring, as Jat said, was horrible team fighters.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they were both 8 and 10 in spring. Of course, the question is, without Maple, I think that's the biggest question on people's mind. How will TSM look? So gonna have to see, if Insanity can really step up here and have a good performance. Because as you say, TSM definitely drafted very, very straightforward, very simple team fighting comp, tons of engage, 4 forms of hard engage basically that they have here. And Turtle did play well, I think, for the team, when he was in there. So if he can have a good performance, they may be able to make it work. But I do think it's really difficult to play really binary hard engage comps into Renata. It's so tough. Because if you're all running straight at this team and Renata ults you all, you are going to get shredded. Like, you are going to get crushed by the counter engage. All 4 members try to hard engage in onto Haeri or Yeon, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a Kennen ult, you're in the middle of a Renata ult. It is going to look bad for you.
And just like the Lounge was talking about, the big thing I'm looking at here for TL is, okay, you had all of spring to get practice together, get used to playing together. We heard about their boot camp in Europe during MSI. I know they were playing against a lot of the teams there. Talked to Romain from G2. He said they were playing against them some as well. There's a lot of practice this team has been putting in. Yeah. So now, if they can fix those errors in the team fighting, if they can fix those just wacky moments where people are completely out of sync, then their early game and individual prowess, I think, can set them up to truly be a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing, is that, they were kind of known as this team that is working so hard. And that is going to pay dividends over time, right? So, now that we're in the second split, now they've had all this extra time together, been able to scrim teams internationally, during MSI. We want to see TL really having leveled up from last split. And I personally want to see more out of Pyosik, because Pyosik, coming straight off winning the World Championship, yes, he was not the most hyped player from that DRX roster, but you still were expecting good things from him. And I don't think he really lived up to those expectations, even though I was personally not expecting him to dominate the league or anything like that. He didn't really have many, if any, memorable games for TL. It didn't feel like he was ever having any of those big moments. And I want to see him really kind of just gelling better with the team, being able to be on that same page.
In this game, he is on a champion that is the most please go in with the rest of your team champion, because once Vi's going in, there's no ticket out. You're either getting your mission accomplished or you're dead. So I need to see Pyosik in sync with the rest of the squad. Summit in particular, the story around this guy has always remained the same. It's laning prowess, it is absolutely unleashed aggro, and it's just this wanton disregard for what the enemy team might be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's kind of had that same criticism falling for a long time now in his career, where no one doubts his laning prowess. He always has, it seems like, the biggest CSD out of any of the top laners. He's really good in the 1v1s. He really pushes the advantage, but he doesn't play with respect to the enemy junglers a lot of the time. He gets picked off in side lanes a lot of the time, and that has really kind of come to haunt him. And you can see Pyosik is just kind of bouncing between mid and top over and over, I think trying to cover Summit to allow him to play more aggressively. And when you have Ahri Var, you have to be focusing on mid lane as well. Bugi is around here. Both junglers are known. Pyosik is trying to actually just cross down towards bot, and he should be able to double scuttle because bot lane does have push for TL.
Yeah.
So this would be a really nice start here, but he's just going to go in.
Not only does he have priority in both mid lane and bottom lane, he has level advantage over his opponent. And considering, early game, nobody's got much purchase power in inventory. Junglers have nothing because of jungle items. Getting that extra 300, 400 gold's worth of stats from a level up just makes it much more difficult for Bugi to do anything about it. So Pyosik, with total control over the jungle here, walks up, sees that there's nothing to take. There's no Gromp or anything there. So he'll go ahead and use his own recall after doing that double scuttle.
Yeah, and seeing that everything has been cleared out, he's going to have pretty much full info of the path that Bugi took. He's going to be knowing he's going to be back up towards topside. They do have a ward still over there on Raptor, so we'll see what Pyosik wants to get done now. Both top laners have based and TP'd back, so any sort of jungle interference now becomes that much more important up towards topside. If you can force an early base, even just get a chunk, it can become pretty difficult. And Hauntzer did not really get a great buy, right? He went back with, I don't know, it was like 14, 16 CS, something like that. Had been harassed very, very heavily. Of course, did get all the XP, but Pyosik was not spotted there. So he's actually completely stuck behind Hauntzer. That is so unlucky for TSM. Because Bugi just walked through there. There's no way he expects the jungler to be here.
Yeah, the stun already comes out from Summit. Hauntzer's just pretty much stuck here. There's your Vault Breaker. Flash out from Hauntzer. Pyosik just needs one more hit to take him down. And there it is, a punch in the spine. It's first blood to Team Liquid.
And look at the top lane wave. It is so bad. Someone needs to get in there and pull the wave. So he does actually stop it from crashing. He's looking like he wants to just push or at least trim the wave. We'll see if he trims the wave a little bit and then bases. He can kind of have allowing it to slow crash, but instead it looks like it will be a push. Either way, this is such anti-timing. Like, I don't even blame Hauntzer for dying here at all. When your jungler just walked through Try, you just warded River, how can you expect that he's there? Like, this is the worst possible timing. And it's not even that Pyosik had the information that he was there, right? He didn't see him.
Just unironically unlucky.
This is just unlucky. It is, man. And sometimes it's the top lane experience. But Hauntzer already being down in farm, TPing back, then dying with the wave in a really bad position. So Summit did do what I was thinking, which is just trimming the wave enough so that it doesn't crash or it doesn't crash quickly, and then he's going to base and run straight back. So you'll notice Hauntzer comes back, he has to push out the wave again, and then Summit will arrive top with a wave to collect. So at the end of the day, Summit is going to be plus 20 CS off of this. You know, if not even a little bit more. We'll see how much of the CS he actually does secure. On the other side, they're going to be able to take this dragon as well. So, you know, Hauntzer with basically no buy up against already a Hextech alternator is going to feel really, really bad. You know, Malphite is known as a really good answer into the cannon. You know, can kind of hit a certain point where all of a sudden you're shrugging off a lot of the harass. Your Comet Q poke can be pretty impactful, and you kind of just have a really solid team fight. You know, in solo queue, it's used as an answer quite frequently, but when you fall this far behind, the punishment kind of keeps on coming for a lot more levels.
The silver lining on the cloud is, hey, you're playing Malphite. Unless the guy takes a hammer and breaks the R key on your keyboard, you're going to have presence in the team fights. There's something you'll be able to try to contribute later on. Just ask FlyQuest. They remember that Malphite ulti up against the Golden Guardians there in Raleigh at the end of the last split. But it's definitely troubled times for Hauntzer up here in the top lane. TSM not on the board anywhere just yet. Those neutral objectives going the way of Team Liquid. The WildTurtle is going to spawn up here in about 30 seconds. We'll see if TL can continue to have that control. And that's another thing that this advantage around topside is going to give you, right? If Summit is just running the show up here, it's very easy for Pyosik to then have command and control over the topside river and pick that up too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I was going to touch on, you know, sure, Malphite's always going to have R in the team fights, but the difficulty can become if you're locked under your tower, you're getting pounded constantly. So as you don't have TP available to join your team, or you're just giving up plates when you move to join your team, you know, it can be difficult to kind of be in that right situation. So TSM is going to be swapped up here right on Herald spawn. Turtle and Chime are already here. So they are going to be matching this. You can see on the TL side, Yeon is actually moving up on the mini-map, you know, trying to walk straight up towards Herald. But TSM, you know, did this really early swap and then weren't willing to start it, so a little bit strange.
Well, what are we doing, boys? What's the name of the game? They're down 1,500 gold, so they know that TL is just going to come with more gear ready to go. Bugi and Insanity, ulti's available for both of them. Hauntzer's got his too. We need to see a wombo combo from TSM. Team Liquid does have 3 players clustered up pretty closely. They're going to go ahead and secure the eyeball here. They tried to engage there with the Gragas. It doesn't do a whole lot, but Pyosik separated from the rest of the team. Slicing Maelstrom swoops in for the follow-up. TSM's incredibly low, but they will not bail Pyosik out. Bugi and Hauntzer and everybody from TSM, they're such critical help, but they're still walking away with 2 kills.
Yeah, not able to finish anyone off there. TL do get the Herald, but they lose the fight. And the team fight woes kind of continuing so far.
Remember what I said about Vi? You press a button and it's a die button. Either they die or you die.
Yep.
And just like Spring Split, Pyosik's going in. Hey guys, I pressed my die button, and TSM says, yes, you did.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, is that Haeri was coming over the wall, right? So Haeri was there. It looked like he wanted to engage with him. But Haeri comes in. He's already getting focused immediately, just dies off on the bottom of the screen there. So wasn't really able to follow up. You know, they're trying to go for that Vi-Ahri combo. Vi ults in, Ahri follows up. You get the guaranteed charm on the CC target. You burst them down. But Haeri was not able to get in, and they're just not on that same page. Pyosik and Haeri have got to be on point with those engages. But TL's laning still has them a massive advantage, and they still have this Herald in pocket to extend that even further. So they are not in trouble by any means just yet, but
not the execution that you want from that first team fight.
And it goes back to, I think Jat did a really good segment about this back in spring. Whenever your tanks are tanking, your cannons need to be firing. And Pyosik was soaking a lot of damage there with no cannons on the enemy team. So, all tanks
making
no
space.
Yeah, he's creating space very successfully indeed. But we still have, like you said, that nice little lead here for Team Liquid. 10.5 minutes into the game. Insanity roaming around, seeing if he might be able to find anything. There are massive CS advantages everywhere except bottom lane for the side of TL. It's plus 35 in top, even plus 10 in the jungle, plus 23 in mid. So Team Liquid's laners just all around outdoing their TSM counterparts.
The Malphite build is just making me sad. He's got Merc Treads and a couple of rubies, and you don't even want to be building Merc Treads.
No.
You kind of have to in this game, but you want to be stacking armor as Malphite. So he's in a bit of a rough spot, but you know, as long as he can stabilize, as long as the CS lead is not building even further, we'll see if he can stabilize. He's 4 points Q. We'll see if he probably just going to go 5 points Q at this point, since he's just going to be answering side lanes against ranged champions anyway.
Yeah. Well, he walks up, tries to smack Haeri around a little bit, just wants to farm up this wave, continue picking up whatever resources he can. This is not a game of maximizing everything you can get for Hauntzer. It's maximizing whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Because when you're this far behind, you're not going to feel good in any of these matchups. It's just trying to pick up the pieces until they can get a chance to go in for one of those big team fights again. Black Cleaver completed for Pyosik's Vi, and Turtle picking up the Kraken Slayer first here on the Xayah. First 2 completed items this game. Remember, Kraken Slayer is different now. No longer a mythic. Has that that point where the effect ramps up if you keep dishing it out to the same guy over and over in team fights. So he's saying, hey, if Pyosik goes in like that and I can just auto attack him down, we're gonna get some nice burst out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it did get buffed pretty significantly on 1311. You know, the base damage for the proc was 20 on 1310. And it was really doing terribly, and now it's 35, scaling all the way up to 85. So much, much larger there. Also has a higher AP coefficient, but Chime maybe going for an engage.
Chime, he found 4, and nobody else is anywhere nearby. They're gonna get one on Yeon. He goes into the bailout, but I don't think he's gonna be bailed out of anything. Team Liquid now swooping in with a slicing maelstrom. They'll kill 2, and an Insanity's about to make it 3. Haeri jumps forward with another Spirit Rush as Turtle tries to call the feathers, but it's not happening. Double kill back over to Summit, and Team Liquid wins the fight 4-2.
Yeah, Chime found a dream engage there, but again, no one is in position to follow up. And when you go for that engage, it's not going to work out if you don't have that immediate follow-up. Imagine a world in which Hauntzer is there and the ulti comes in right over the top, and that follow-up is there from Insanity. You know, they could have got a quick 4 kills, but unfortunately, Chime just sees this opportunity, goes in very early. Hauntzer now trying to see what's going on here, not going to be able to do anything about it. But you know, with those kind of split-up engages from TSM, TL went out in the end. As Summit arrives, he has a really good ult. Yeon on the other side got a lot of damage out and forced the ulti out of Turtle before he went down. So, you know, TL able to clean up. Massive early game lead for them here now. TL, all 4 members stacked, walking in, and you can see the engage. 4 members, all charmed, all knocked up. But there's no follow-up, right? Like, you have to look at the mini-map, see where the rest of your squad is. Malphite has just TP'd in. It's too early. Bugi's not there. He's charmed over the wall. Turtle's trying to get here. Hauntzer has to go for the ulti over onto this AD, but the bailout buys so much time, forces the ulti out of Turtle as well. And then on the other side, Summit arrives. The front line is getting shredded here. And Haeri is pretty much still full HP. Remember, Turtle down to half and had no ulti because of that scrap with Yeon. So at the end of the day, the TL members are able to clean it up with their solos.
And you can see what Chime was going for. Bugi was right over the wall. He's thinking maybe he can do the Nimbus strike into that ulti follow-up. Hauntzer's coming around from the side, then he can follow it up with that. Have a regular sideshow at the circus with the juggling going on between these knockups, but the charm stopped so much there. Got to applaud Haeri for that one, shutting down the Wukong follow-up, allowing Team Liquid to disengage in time. And that fight has earned them a 2 Drake lead with a 3,000 gold advantage. The second Herald of the game is going to be spawning up soon here, so we'll see if Team Liquid can get that as well. I would expect them to with this sort of an edge at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been playing, you know, pretty heavily towards these objectives, so I do think we can expect them to be looking for it once again. Bugi, Chime, Turtle all moving up towards this top side, though, trying to clear out visions. They're trying to keep their options open for a contest.
Man, I gotta say, again, I don't like these Divine Sunderer picks. I feel like these are laziness picks because it was so much better for so long, but I don't think it's gonna matter what he has. Bugi trying to get away here. The damage keeps on flying out. He's down to 300. A little bit more follow-up from Haeri, but he can't quite get enough. Now Chime's ready to counterattack, and Turtle got the kill on the enemy mid laner. Summit wants the slicing maelstrom, and Insanity's getting sliced and diced. He still walks out. TSM have low health bars, but everybody's still alive for now. Hauntzer in mid lane would be able to swoop in if TL wanted to follow up anymore, and it goes the way of Team Liquid. Bugi survives and baits him in for that kill.
Yeah, going to be able to survive. They do get that kill. Stepping a little bit too far forward, got rooted up by the feathers from Turtle. But then, showing the power of the comp over on the other side as TL, CoreJJ just lets the ulti rip, hits that charm onto Turtle, and no one can really kind of fight in that funnel. When that ulti comes out, it just covers the entire area of that map. And TL back to live, just starting up the Herald here. Going to be able to secure it looks like, before anyone can really get in range.
Team Liquid picking up another neutral objective for themselves. Gold lead still about where it was before the last fight. They're waiting on Haeri to come back. TSM tried to go in, but they take a ton of damage in retaliation. Hauntzer's already down, and Yeon did the damage. Team Liquid is absolutely shredding them. A double kill for Yeon's Azael. Summit picks up the additional one there onto Bugi. 3 for nothing. Herald summoned up mid. First turret's gonna drop. Second turret's gonna drop. TSM are gonna pay dearly for that mistake.
It is a stomp now for TL. 5K. Going to be able to get a charge here on that tier 2 tower as well. And you can see Haeri even went towards bot. He wants to try to take that tier 1. They said Summit up towards top. So they're trying to just maximize their lead here. One more auto, that's going to go down as well. 6K now. Potentially going to lose the tier 1, and the tier 1 top is going to take damage here also. So TSM feeling almost out of this game immediately.
TSM now almost 7K behind. Haeri's Ahri. One of those pocket picks, one of the things this guy's always been known for, as strong as it is in the meta. He's always happy to play it whenever he can, but you can see Chime and Hauntzer, they were thinking about looking for something, but CoreJJ flashes out, instant denies on both.
Yeah, it's a good flash there from Core, but you have to kind of wonder, even if they hit that and kill Core, does it really change the fight? He didn't really do anything in this fight besides actually drop the bailout for some move speed. So I still think you lose that fight very, very heavily. You've got to be careful about who you're engaging onto. I don't think you can really let the Malphite ulti rip unless it is on a premium target at this point, because they're so far behind. You're just looking at items across the board, and it is starting to look really, really rough. Pyosik now has an entire item above his opponent. The second item is going to be in here for Summit, maybe before the first is actually even done for Hauntzer. So things are tough.
Oh, Pyosik just jumping over the wall with a Vault Breaker, completely unafraid, even though there's no vision in the brush. He finds Bugi waiting, but neither one really engages too heavily onto the other, knowing everyone else is nearby on both teams. Dragon spawning here in 5 seconds. Remember, the first 2 have gone the way of TL, and it is an Infernal Soul this time around. Much deadlier than the Chem Soul that we saw in the previous game. So I would expect Team Liquid, with this lead in this game, to not let TSM try to take this.
Unless they just want to trade for a tower top, right? Summit is actually up there. He does have TP to answer. So we'll see if they are going to come down, because I do think it would be an easy team fight win.
Yeah.
But now comes the TP, and he is going to be TPing into bot lane, so they're going to look for the deep flank.
The Dragon's already really low. Pyosik's in the pit. Way too early from Pyosik, and now he'll try to stand and fight, but he's about to drop. Gets over the wall to safety for now. Slicing Maelstrom onto Turtle and Insanity. The carries are locked down. The carries are lit up. TSM's low. Pyosik goes back over the wall. He is dead. Summit dies too. Team Liquid with a 6,000 gold lead lose the fight and lose the Drake.
Yeah, that was completely botched by TL. Pyosik went in so early. Did he have no vision? Yeah, they don't even have a ward. Why is no one warding over here? Core needs to drop a pick in the pit or something. I guess he got just brief amount of vision and then completely kind of underestimated how long it would take them to actually finish off that dragon. Goes in, has to smite early. It does not actually secure it. Then it's smited away. The bailout's used on him. Summit comes in at the same time, but he's going to get CC'd up. Turtle avoids a lot of the damage here with his own ulti, then lands that Blake Oil, lands that pull through onto Summit, able to survive. Pyosik cannot finish him off. It's 2 kills and the dragon bounty there. TL still way ahead, but that should have been an easy fight with the item advantages that they had.
Man, I am so sad to be seeing this state of team fighting from Team Liquid. It's so reminiscent from Spring. You can see the skill.
Oh, no. Pan away, pan away, pan
Yeah,
away.
nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw. Come on, we've all been there before. At least it wasn't a flash. But anyway, we've seen the individual skill levels on these guys in the early part of the game. We saw them slamming their lanes. That's why they have a 5,000 gold lead with a 1 kill advantage. But what in the holy hell is happening in these team fights?
I mean, it's really strange to watch, right? Because they're clearly extremely skilled individuals. They do have a 5K gold lead, but they've lost 2 team fights.
Yeah.
And they were, nearly 7K, I want to say, ahead at the time of that lost fight at the Dragon. Because it was 5.5K with a bounty and multiple kills going over to the other team, right? So there's a lot of gold being kind of dumped back over. When you look over at TSM, it's really all about Turtle. He's kind of the only one that has gold at this point. He does have 2 items, has the Gale Force, has the Kraken Slayer already complete. TL looking for an engage.
Chime tries to get out. Pyosik's ready to follow him. Do they have the follow-up? Not quite. Haeri jumps in and guarantees it.
Here's
TSM's got to be careful now. Turtle's the only real threat here. Haeri again. Looking to find some more damage using that last charge of the Spirit Rush. Team Liquid, they get their pick. They find the enemy support, one of those big engage mechanisms. They also get the ulti out of Bugi. So the only real massive engages left are Hauntzer and Insanity. Team Liquid starting up the Baron. Hauntzer eating a lot of damage here. He's going to die before he can do anything. He has to ult out to safety. Now TL should have this one. Bugi over the wall.
Bugi. He's got to try to go for a steal.
Can Bugi steal it away? He's charmed up. Baron still at about 2K. Nice engage coming out from Summit. And Insanity is down. The Baron is secured by TL. And Summit's ready to fight on back. Bugi drops 2. TL just got all them kills. Plus a Baron. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, nicely done there by TL. Summit here coming in on the flank. These 3 members are trying to stay around, but it is not a winning scenario here for TSM. Good ulti early comes out there from Turtle, but you can see Summit just bursting through so much of the team. And then Yeon over the wall helping to finish off Bugi. As Summit was in trouble, had the bailout though, would have been fine. It is now a monstrous gold lead here for TL, nearly 9,000 gold ahead, 22 minutes in. And they have the Baron, so surely they're going to get a lot done with this. Look to clean up a lot of the outers. You can see that Summit's pushing up through bot. Pyosik is trailing him, so they look to want to try to get this tier 2 bot and then potentially play through 2 lanes. They could look to play through mid and bot and try to really threaten these inhibitor towers.
All right, Team Liquid, the Baron for another 2 minutes is so much opportunity to get this game to a point where there's just no way for TSM to survive here in these team fights. So we'll see if they can clear out some of the waves. Team Liquid does have the 4-man play down here, but a teleport from Hauntzer looking to come up behind Team Liquid and find the pincer attack. Summit and the rest of TL retreating. Hauntzer's coming. They need to find this. There it is. Flash engage finds 2. Hauntzer's ready to go and Chime follows up. 2 immediately killed on the side of Team Liquid. And TSM is not done yet. Haeri's still back in the mid lane trying to get something. CoreJJ fires off the ulti to guarantee his escape. Tier 3 turret will fall back in mid, but TSM has ended the TL Baron push for now.
Yeah, gonna be able to grab a couple kills there. Great engage from Hauntzer. A really long flank from him. And sees both Summit and Yeon grouped up. Flash ulti. The Gale Force that tried to evade it there from Yeon. Thought he was out of range. He had the flash, I think, available, during this replay. But was not able to actually get it off. I'm not sure if it came up on cooldown, when he was dead. But TSM now back to live. Doing this Dragon here would be another bounty for them. And the second Infernal back-to-back with a massive gold deficit.
All right, Team Liquid ready to challenge for it. CoreJJ gets engaged on immediate pop in the stasis. Insanity loses half HP to Haeri. Summit's ready to come in. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Mid lane for support. TSM lost the more valuable player, and TL still looking for their chance to keep the fight going. Haeri with another beautiful charm. Summit ready for the slicing maelstrom, but it doesn't slice much. Still enough damage to find the kill on Chime. Pyosik wants to go in, but he's trying to be a little bit careful here. Does not have the Vault Breaker still, so needs to make sure that he doesn't just overextend himself. Hauntzer taking a lot of damage from Yeon. There's no purple gun. Yeon again, just trying to use that Gale Force for the execute. Not quite enough. Hauntzer can still walk all the way back to the fountain and get those heals, but the mid lane inhibitor dies. Summit stays top, knowing that nobody from TSM can defend right now. They all have to go heal up and regroup, so that means he can guarantee the tier 2 turret being taken as well, and TL can back away.
Yeah, the seismic shards coming out from Hauntzer were actually pretty big. The slowdown on Summit when he popped his ult so he couldn't close the gap and really get in on anyone was big. And then again, gets him out there from Yeon. At the end of the day, TL do get that mid inhibitor, but again, it's just back-to-back dragons, back-to-back bounties being given over to TSM in just these kind of bizarre situations where you would think TL have everything they need to really cleanly close this one out. They're establishing themselves these massive, massive leads. They need to be clean with them. That's really what we want to see to take this team to the next level that we know they can get to. And on TSM's side, it's just going to be continually looking for these picks.
Yep.
And trying to find these great engages. And if you can wipe someone off the map right at the beginning of the fight, then you can look to kind of go forward from there. Because Turtle, he's just about on pace with Yeon still. So, if you can get one kill at the beginning of the fight, there is a chance for TSM. But it is a slim one with the lead that TL have.
It's tough, man. They're going to need not only their own engages to be synced up perfectly, but they're going to need more of that desync from Team Liquid. They're going to need Team Liquid to misfire this lead because 8K is just so much. It is nice, at least for TSM, that they've been able to get those last couple of Drakes, the extra damage adding some of what's missing from the firepower difference between these two teams and the gold advantage. But we've got under 3 minutes until the next Drake. We've got under 1.5 minutes until the Baron. So the buff's not going to be completely synced up. And the problem for that is for TSM, if they are synced up, you can at least say, well, if TL goes Baron and we know we can't stop it, we can Constellation Prize the Dragon, get Soul Point, and maybe there's a Hail Mary 5 minutes from now if we live.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would have really expected that they even get these back-to-back Dragons. Pyosik looking for the ult, does force it out.
Yep. Ult for ult there. Pyosik's happy to have that because now Summit and Haeri and CoreJJ, honestly, can lock down that Xayah. As Haeri gets caught, though, Everfrost's going to lock him up here. This is a big problem. Insanity gets the kill. Haeri getting picked off there, 1v4.
Hauntzer, though, in trouble now. So he's really far out on the other side. Is going to be able to stay alive, but it means he has no ultimate available. So he's pretty useless for this team fight. What? I thought he was just going to run straight up back towards the base, but he runs down. Now they don't really have anything to do on the other side of the map.
Hauntzer, bro, you're on the red team. Gotta go back to the red base. Run! Run! He ain't running.
Okay.
All right.
Well, unfortunate. Oh, mid lane.
Oh, back in mid. Yeon down to 200 HP. TSM. Perhaps it was all just a facade. He was simply creating space.
He did create space, yeah. So another bounty is claimed. They're going to take 2 towers off of this. So I don't know how in God's name this is happening, but this game still feels close with a 6K deficit here for TSM.
He was actually creating space.
Yeah.
They got 2 turrets.
They got 2 towers. Perfectly played.
Yeah, it worked out.
Right, well,
I mean, hey, he created space. Sure, let's rock and roll. Problem is, Turtle cannot afford to be killed here.
Turtle.
Now he's got to try to stand and fight. Charm from Haeri lands. Turtle's gone.
Yeah, and that's that earlier ult for ult trade. Pyosik's ultimate is about half the cooldown of WildTurtle's, so he forced it out earlier mid lane. He knows his is back up. Turtle's will not be. Turtle was trying to get vision around the Baron, but no reason for him to be out there solo either way. And we're back again to this wonky kind of position over by the Baron. TL gonna look for another one. Bugi is in the area though. Will they be able to try to coordinate maybe a Gragas ult over the wall plus a Wukong smite and try to look for the steal? We'll see if they can make something happen.
Insanity is just going to throw in a barrel. I think TSM recognizes there's just no world.
Yeah, TL are stopping it.
Where anything's going to happen here, so they back off.
Yep.
Another Baron for the side of Team Liquid and back to an 8,500 gold lead.
Yep, back up again. And that is well played Baron by TL. Had they continued hitting it, I do think there's always a chance of that coordinated steal over the wall. But they just stop. They send 3 members over. They chase out the enemy jungle. They wait till he's gone. Then they finish it off. Dragon is spawning, and TSM are kind of just down to fight for it. I mean, ulti is back for Turtle. He does not have summoners, but all the ultimates are up for TSM side. Pretty much everything ready to go on both sides, minus the one ulti for Yeon, which isn't going to be that impactful. So we'll see who's going to get it. TSM starting this off first. Haeri's coming in on a potential flanking angle here from the top.
Watch out for that Ahri. Those charms have been very effective at a lot of critical points so far here in this game. Chime wants to look to go around the side. Hauntzer's already engaged, but nobody else is with them. Yeon's able to create some distance as the CoreJJ ulti fires off. A lot of damage onto Insanity, and CoreJJ gets the kill credit. A double kill of a Summit. TSM's gone. Finally, the power of the wallet reigns supreme. Team Liquid's advantages are far too much, and they will slam TSM for the perfect ace.
Yeah, the ulti there from CoreJJ destroyed TSM as Turtle got caught by it, killed off one of his own teammates in that berserk, and TL finally closing this one out. Was dominant in the lanes. Team fights a little bit messy at times, but TL get it done and in under 30 minutes.
Team Liquid secure their win. They will start off Summer Split with a dub. They're trying to pad the stats a little bit more, but they won't get the kill. It was a win, but there's going to be some things to do in VOD review after that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, early game, big check for TL. I think their laning still looking great.
Yeah.
That is something that we know
100%.
they have. They do create these massive leads in lane. They have